Welcome to another Classics But Not Masterpieces episode, and this time we are featuring the groundbreaking album A Tribute to Jack Johnson by Miles Davis. Here we cover how this album could have even been greater even though it's a classic. It's 1970 and Miles Davis is dedicating an album to his favorite boxers and in particular Jack Johnson. Tribute to Jack Johnson is a jazz fusion album that features Miles on trumpet, Herbie Hancock on electric piano, Steve Grossman on saxophone, John McLaughlin on guitar, Billy Cobham and Michael Henderson on bass. Also, this music became the soundtrack for the 1970 documentary Jack Johnson, who's the first black heavyweight champion. A Tribute to Jack Johnson is one of Miles Davis's early fusion albums. It starts off with a jam called Right Off. Then on the next track is Yester Now. Both tracks cover over 52 minutes of music. What is desired is more with better structure. Miles in his autobiography was dissatisfied with how Columbia Records didn't push the album, and he ended up being correct. There should have been more music that was released, and as Miles predicted, when he passed, they would release the vaults, and that's just what they did. 3 decades later, the box set of the Tribute to Jack Johnson sessions came out in 2003, and this box set revealed more to what could have been. There are 3 tracks from those sessions that could have also been released: Duran, Honky Tonk, and The Mask, the shorter version. These tracks were played by the same musicians and other additional musicians during those sessions. In his autobiography, Miles Davis said that he thought he had a hit with the track Duran, and he was right, as it would have been the best track on the album. Both Duran and Honky Tonk would end up being released on later albums, making things confusing. Although these tracks wouldn't fit on a single album back then, perhaps Columbia Records could have released a double album with these 3 tracks to make the Jack Johnson album a masterpiece. Within the sessions are songs dedicated to each of Miles's favorite boxers, as he would take up boxing as well. 4 decades later, Ken Burns would do another documentary on Jack Johnson called Unforgivable Blackness, with Marsalis facilitating the soundtrack. Although it was a better documentary, all I can say is Miles is ahead. Always miles ahead of everybody. As far as the music goes, Miles leads the way once again with the musical production. This would be Herbie Hancock's last studio album with Miles, which started from the early 60s. McLaughlin and Cobham are forming the rapport that would lead to their next journey together. Michael Henderson makes his debut with Miles and does a fine job. Jack Johnson remains a historical classic within the Miles Davis catalog. This is Flame Sky. See you on the next one.